The left came to the position, especially in the last 10 years, they're going to cancel and censor everybody. Where did that come from?
Yeah, one of the places where I don't think it comes from, and here perhaps I'm sort of showing my academic background and nonconformist position. I don't think it has anything to do with Marxism. I think it is a leftist movement because it wants to destroy the past.
Mm-hmm.
It is revolutionary in character and preaches equality.
Mm-hmm.
Those are all leftist characteristics. What makes it different, however, is it is allied to a parasitic capitalist class that's allied to the government, which supports the woke revolution. All these people, the green energy,
Mm-hmm.
and the ones who are who are clearly benefiting from this, all the million and billionaires who give money to the Democratic Party, and who accept the cultural radicalism, but are also getting something in return.
Mm-hmm.
They are. I think they practice the worst form of crony capitalism, many of them, but they are cultural radicals. And what makes this wokeism different from older leftist movements, it is not really socioeconomic. It is culturally nihilistic.
Mm-hmm.
It is the most destructive left that we've ever faced. It is far more dangerous than the communists, in my opinion, although they don't have the foreign policy or the international strength of the communist. I always tell people that in 2021, something like 63% of Americans polled supported Black Lives Matter.
Mm-hmm.
There was only about 70,000 in 1936 who voted for the Communist Party.
Mm.
And I think the woke thing is more dangerous in America than communism ever was. And the question is, how did it get here? And I think since the 1960s, in every Western country, not only in the United States, you have a kind of radical reaction against what we might consider bourgeois Christian civilization, stress on the guilt. It's almost a kind of Christian metaphysical guilt turned into social guilt. I mean, I've written books on this and show the process by which this takes place. And then you invite in people from outside the culture, peripheral people, who dislike it, people like Mamdani,
Mm-hmm.
right? Or Omar Sateh in Minneapolis,
Mm-hmm.
and Somali community and so forth. So the more people you invite in, the more resentful they become toward what had been the dominant culture in Western countries, particularly in the United States. And there is a reaction against this, which they join. Now, there is an inherent conflict in this because, for instance, Muslims coming into the United States are clearly not woke.
Mm-hmm.
What they represent is absolute repression. But they make an alliance with the wokesters
Mm-hmm.
until they take power.
Mm-hmm.
Then if they ever take power, God forbid, they're going to get rid of everybody else. It's not going to end very well. But I think what drives this woke left is not utopianism or some vision of this. It is absolute hatred. It is hatred of normal people, as far as I can determine.
And where does that resentment come from? Like, where's that hatred coming from?
I really do not understand the depth of this hatred, because many of the people who join these woke movements are beneficiaries of Western societies
Mm-hmm.
in the United States, but they carry with them grudge.
Mm-hmm.
And then I say that it isn't the same as communism, but people who are likely to join the Communist Party and become communist revolutionaries very, very often are similar to the people who become wokesters,
Mm-hmm.
which is they feel this profound alienation. They do not like ordinary white Christian males. They hate them. And I keep running into this. And although I have written on this, I ask myself the question you've asked me, exactly where does this hatred come? And it's deep hatred. It's pure malice that drives many of these people. Or the feminists hate the men. I'm the victim of the patriarchy. And you look at these women; they're living very well. How are they victims of the patriarchy? But I think this becomes contagious. And then there's others who are just hangers on.
Mm-hmm.
People want to be liked.
So we have this, and I think everyone can see it and has seen it play out in the last few years. This resentment, this hatred. But then you get a lot of these people who just go along with it. Like Black Lives Matter is a great example of this. I
Right.
mean, this is a movement where if you talk to the founders, they're completely removed from the views of normal Democrats. I mean, that no one believes this radical stuff
Right.
that has to do with destroying the notion of the family. It's way beyond what anyone actually thinks on the ground, and yet the black squares went up all over social media.
Right.
And people went along with it. Why did they do that?
Well, part of it is they're seen as being in power. So we populists on the right have to wrest power from them. And it is a power struggle, and it's a power struggle in which the good guys have lost in just about every Western European country. I mean, as a German historian, I don't have any hope for Germany, nor do I have much hope for England or Canada. There are lots of these places, Sweden, where the left, and they keep inviting in these Muslim migrants, who obviously are going to side with the left,
Right.
as does the Turkish government,
Right.
because they see this as a way of taking power through the wokesters. So they, we're in favor of gender transition for children. This is great stuff. Until they take over. And that is the real one. The panel I was on yesterday with people were talking about that, what do you when they take over? You move. It's like South Africa.
Yeah, and there are people from the UK here at this conference. NatCon has been held in London and in Europe before, and you see this, and it makes me. I mean, there is a difference though between these other countries and what's happening here. Here we do have Donald Trump in office. We have an administration that is saying things that were unthinkable. You weren't supposed to even be able to say, never mind implement into policy, that, dare I say it, a lot of them are commonsensical beliefs that, commonsensical policies that most American people happen to support. Right. But what makes America different? Why are we standing alone right now?
Yeah, I think it's numbers. We have a much larger percentage of normal people or people willing to speak out. I mean, this is what I've been arguing for years. Something like a Trump victory would not be really conceivable in a place like Germany, where 30% vote for the AfD, Alternative for Deutschland. The people who vote for the Christian Democrats are just escaping a decision because the Christian Democrats are allied to the crazy left in Germany. But the Trump movement is like the AfD in Germany. It's like the Rassemblement National in France. I mean, there's a lot of these. But we have the numbers that are willing to do this. We also have a classical liberal tradition in the United States. We believe more in freedom of expression, freedom of opinion, which the English don't seem to believe in anymore, which the Germans, I don't think, believe in, or most of these other European countries, Western European countries, although places like Hungary and to some extent Poland, the Baltic countries seem to remain normal. But also, I think the Western Europeans have picked up some of the worst American ideas, which many Americans reject. Like a lot of this wokeness comes out of the United States and Europe. The American hegemon influences Europe, but we have enough normal people here who just reject this, and Europeans very often end up taking over our worst ideas, or the Canadians the same. And they sort of push them beyond any point that most Americans would tolerate.